What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel where I'm going to be continuing my early weapon build guides for Final Fantasy VII evercrisis, and this time we're going to be starting off with one of the 3 new characters from First Soldier, which is going to be Glenn. So I have 3 sets for Glenn for you guys to help you guys prepare for the upcoming release of evercrisis if you decide to use Glenn in your party. So Glenn shares some similarities with Barret because he is the only other character that has access to that really cheap 2 ATB costing skill, and we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it with my first set for him. It is a utility secondary DPS set. So you're gonna want Apology in Hell, which we actually get for free, and Piece of Cake for the 2 weapons for this setup. So this setup gives Glenn access to currently the only other skill that has a 2 ATB cost with a defense down debuff, giving him good offensive utility. So Barret has that, and now Glenn has it, which is super useful because it's also very cost efficient. Apology in Hell is one of his 2 single target weapons that have the highest damage modifier of 940%. He has another one, but Apology in Hell is the better option because of the support materia and all the other stuff that it has attached to it. Both weapons will grant Glenn up to 90% physical attack up with the support materia, which makes him a great secondary DPS, and I can actually argue that he could potentially even be your main DPS because of the high damage modifier on that weapon. And remember, he has access to another one that has 940%. But this setup is awesome. You got utility coming from the 2 ATB cost defense down debuff from Piece of Cake, and then you have a very high damage dealing single target weapon. Now, before I move on to the next set, I want to address a misconception going around. A lot of people I've been seeing are valuing AoE attacks more, which is true. AoE attacks are great because they're great against mob clearing, against multiple enemies, but there will be difficult boss fights where you're fighting one enemy target and you're gonna want a strong single target damage dealing attack. You're gonna want it. So glancing over single target abilities just because they may seem basic or not doing anything else, you might want to change your view on that, because for really strong boss fights, like for example the Shiva fight or the Ifrit fight, you're going to want a really strong single target attack. So just wanted to put that out there. The next set is going to be a magic AoE damage dealer, and this is going to take advantage of his Shockbuster and his Jiggy Fam. So both of these weapons can give Glenn effectively be a good AoE damage dealer with his setup. It also grants him access to 2 elements in Lightning and Earth. Currently, Earth is kind of a rare elemental attack, so Jiggy Fam gives that option to Glenn. And then this setup also gives him up to 60% magic attack up, and also that +4 broken matching sigils with the support materia. So if you're looking for like a wave clear, kind of similar to Barret, Glenn can do that as well with these 2 weapons. And finally, this setup is called the Shiva Boss Buster because Shiva is one of the hardest fights in the game currently. So you're going to want Crew Kicker and Piece of Cake. So Crew Kicker is going to give Glenn a powerful fire attack, which is very useful because Shiva is weak to fire, and it is also a strong single target attack, so it's gonna help you be very effective because Shiva is weak to fire for that tough boss fight. And then I threw Piece of Cake on here again because, again, cost effective. It has a defense down debuff, so you apply that on Shiva and then you're dealing that fire weakness damage. It's going to be very effective, and this setup can also be very useful for other bosses or even just enemies in general that are weak to the fire element. So this is my Shiva Boss Buster setup for Glenn, and it's going to go ahead and conclude my video for early weapons builds for Glenn. Let me know what you guys think below in the comment section. Stay tuned for the next video and stay blessed, everybody.